back, everybody. So we're really bearing down on the last couple sessions in this 12-part class. This one's on the standards, and when we're talking about that, it's all about the online marketing tools that you're going to use to drive traffic to your course. Peter Getchell's joining us again. So Pete, tell me, what do we mean by the standards? What's that all about?
Well, when we talk about the standards, it's really all about content marketing. Everyone's heard that buzzword recently. Everything's about content marketing, and all content marketing really is any form of content that you're creating to promote your offering.
Got it. So content marketing comes in lots of different flavors. What are the three big channels that we're talking about here?
So the big channels in any content marketing strategy is your website, your blog, and your social media interactions.
Got it. Now, if we look at that and knowing that those are related all in some way, what are some specifics that you can give us on each one, like your website? How should I look at that?
So your website is basically your storefront. Think of it as that. You want your storefront essentially for your offering to be very professional. You want it to appeal to the audiences that you're out there looking for. So you want that to be as current as your course offering is essentially.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I know some people say it's like what you put up on your website are like the signs you would put on the store windows.
Exactly. Yeah. You want the signs all to be driving people to the course offering and being very presentable and professional.
Now, blog, when we talk about the blog, I think there's lots of different flavors out there. What do you recommend for our audience?
Blogs is all about the narrative. You want your blog to tell a story. And this gets missed on blogs out there all days, but some of the best blogs out there are all about telling a story. And that's really what gets people driving back to those blogs, to keep updated on a regular basis to see, hey, what's being said next in the story. So that storytelling approach on blogs is missed by many, but the ones that do tell the story are some of the most popular.
Yeah, I think from personal experience, that's the only blogs that I follow, and we do that ourselves. We're blogging about, moving towards product launch, moving towards launching this course. We like to talk about it. The more we can do it, the better. So what's the final step and what should we be thinking about?
So social media, that's essentially the final step. And with social media, the most important thing of anything is having a playbook. Know what you're going to do. What are the do's and don'ts you expect out of this social media activity? And it really comes down to four main things. Establish your purpose. Be very clear on what it is that you're going to do on social media. Don't expect too much, don't expect too little, just be very clear. The next thing is to establish your voice. And when you establish your voice, you want it to be consistent across all social media channels, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's all going to be consistent, so they're not varying topics on any of them. The third one is pick your favorite. Become an expert in at least one of them. And you're going to do them all, but just become an expert in one, so that one may end up shining in the end. And then lastly, the last one is you listen to the metrics. You're going to get metrics across all the different avenues that you're doing. Listen to them and do more of what's working, do less of what's not, so you'll know really where to pay your attention to and do more of that gets the most value.
Got it. And we use a tool called Buffer that allows us to queue up all of our posts and then track the metrics on them and see where we're engaging. We also look at the Facebook stats. But with the tool like Buffer, do you recommend anything else like that where it allows us to kind of manage all of our social media channels from one spot?
Buffer's great, and there's other ones out there called like Hootsuite. So Hootsuite and Buffer I see primarily as the biggest two. And they're great because they allow you to act like you have a big social media contingency in your office. So you can actually queue up certain articles, you can do, post your own stuff, you can leverage industry standard stuff. You can actually see the metrics of when's the best time to post, what's not the best time to post, so you can do more of the things that are working and less of the things that are not. So those two tools are great.
So that naturally leads us to what I see all the time are peers of my own that are out there on Facebook, on their blog, getting featured as a LinkedIn contributor. You see their stuff all the time, and I'm always wondering how are they keeping up the pace? What's the strategy? How are these guys doing it?
So I see that all the time, and it really comes down to whether or not you want to do it yourself or you want to hire someone to do it. If you do it yourself, it's much more authentic. You're going to get much more valuable content out there and a better chance of being picked up as an influencer because that content is authentic and valuable. If you're hiring someone to do it, it's really about, that's who you're seeing most of the times in the polls that keep popping up 15, 20 times a day. They're hiring a service to do it that's a little bit more generic, but mass volumes amount of content that's going up there.
Got it. And I would imagine a hybrid solution somewhere in the middle would be a nice compromise for everyone.
Hybrid solution is probably one of the best solutions because you have the tools like the buffers and the Hootsuite that we talked about that allow you to queue up your own personally written stuff, the authentic stuff, and couple it with some of the more high volume content. That's the industry types of content that you can just funnel that in there as well. And again, you have content writers that can write some of that stuff. So you can do that hybrid approach and really get a much valuable impact on that.
Great. Thank you, Peter. So you've got a lot of information there on something that's seemingly pretty easy, but download the worksheet that goes along with this. We'll give you some best practices on how to use the 3 legs of the stool the right way. So content marketing means your website, your blog, and all the social media avenues. Get to use them all, set them all up. They're all valuable, and we'll see you in the next session. Thank you.